Good evening. I will try to talk English as I'm in the Dutch group, and I know there are some Czech participants as well here who are interested in hearing this information. And I was announcing this Facebook Live with the topic Body as a Source. And our bodies definitely are a source, and it's only on us to decide whether they are going to be a source of problems, sorts of judgments, sorts of disease, or whether they are going to be source of creation, source of possibilities, source of awareness, source of space, and source of energy. And this Facebook Live, I would like to have a look at how we determine how we can choose either or, how we can create together with our bodies, and also in what way our bodies are a contribution in our creation, and in what ways our bodies tell us what we could choose and what actually would be a contribution for us to have and to create as our lives. So many of you probably know the most basic access consciousness tools like light and heavy, and is that not an excellent way for our bodies to show us and to contribute to us, just to direct us in the direction where there is more waiting, where there is more ease or more contraction or more problems. If we are just willing to listen to and to really tune in to what our bodies are showing us in the sense of expansion or contraction, that already is an amazing way of navigating our lives. And that's just one way. Actually, I discovered that access consciousness exists like 12 years ago. 12 years ago, I had my first bar session, and I was amazed at the space that got created during the session. I didn't understand at all how comes that I had so much ease while I came for the session, feeling really down and feeling really frustrated and kind of angry and sad and all kinds of emotions all at the same time. After the session, I felt amazing and I had a lot of space, and I didn't realize how it's possible. I didn't understand it, but I wanted to know what happened. So I, when the same lady came and announced that she's inviting somebody for a bars training, somebody who will offer a bars training, I signed up because I was so curious to find out what the hell just happened with my body, what the hell just happened with my head. And that was for me the one of the very first steps in an amazing journey that's now 12 years. And one of the first things that amazed me and that I discovered is how different the approach of access consciousness is to our bodies, how different from other modalities that I came across with before, and how amazing source of information and awareness our bodies actually are. And I was for many years before I started Access, and at the beginning when I was doing Access, I was following a lot of different dietary approaches, amongst them for many years macrobiotics, which is really strict. And that was taking a toll on my body, but my head was so strong, and I believed we do. We have all kinds of beliefs about what's good for us and what's not good for us, and what's appropriate and what's correct and what not. So I was following a lot of these dietary recommendations, and when I started to do Access and I started to discover all these different tools, and we were encouraged to talk to our bodies, my body started to talk to me immediately about that it would like to have some yogurt, that it would like to have some chicken, that it would like to have some stuff that I haven't eaten for more than 10 years, for 15 years maybe. And at the beginning, it was really it was really it was not easy for me to switch to what my body knew. I was talking back, and I didn't really want to listen, and I was arguing with my body, but then my body won, and that created so much ease, not just for me but for the whole family, where my husband grew up in a macrobiotic family. So for him it was really interesting to switch to much more easy way of living and easy way of eating as well. And then I discovered that my body was talking to me about all kinds of stuff. My body has totally different taste than I used to. And I kind of really forgot about how great it is to dress well, to look for clothes, to look for shoes. While my body always liked stuff like that, I thought that it was in my spiritual period of my life. I thought that it was totally not important, and I had family, and there was no blah 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 money for stuff like that. And then my body started to choose, and I started to listen, and it was amazing what got created like really fast, but also the fun that it opened, the fun and like the joy that it opened to listen more to my body and to include my body in my life. Totally different energy, totally different energy than just thoughts, and head, and have tools, and must not, and all kinds of rules that I was following before. And those rules, let's be honest, those rules that we are trying to follow with our bodies and with our lives, most of the time they are not even ours. But how often are we encouraged to listen to what we know and to listen to what our bodies know? For me, access consciousness was really like the first time and the first um, possibility to really tune into that. And then my body started to choose, like when I actually started to earn money with access, because before that I was at home with the kids, and I know I come from Czech Republic, and Czech Republic was not really part of European Union at the beginning, so I was not really allowed to work here legally. So I wasn't really earning any money, and I was really frustrated. And then I started to organize access classes, and my body started to be an enormous, giant contribution in that. And then I started to facilitate my own classes. And when I started to facilitate my own bars classes, my own intros and stuff like that, money came. Even with organizing access classes, money started to come, and then my body started to choose things for her, like dresses, like high heel shoes, like jewelry, and the fun started, and it never stopped. It was just amazing. And then I realized that my body doesn't talk to me just about what it would like to eat and when it would like to go to bed, and when it wants to have sex, and what kind of shoes it wants to put on. It was talking to me about all kinds of things. And the thing is, when our body talks to us, we just know what is expensive, and we just know what's not. So I was asking about stuff like venues. When I was planning to facilitate a class, I would ask my body, "Hey, is this should I do this at home? Should I do this in the city? Should I do this in this other venue that I was offered? That's not in the city, but that's like so much more aesthetically pleasing. What is your awareness?" And my body's awareness, when I followed it, was always what created the most, not the logic, not the like trying to figure it out, but just following the energy, and having my body's contribution was always what was opening more and more and more space. And it's just amazing what our bodies will tell us about uh, venues, sure, about people that we work with. how many people that try to work with you are a real contribution, and how many people that try to work with me in the past 10 years were just trying to use me. And when we are aware of that, who is in control then? We can totally work with people who are trying to take advantage of us when we know it, and we won't let it happen. And so much information that I got from my body, and then when somebody is a contribution, when somebody really is a contribution to our life, to our business, or to our body even, our bodies will also tell us. And it's so great to rely not just on the logic of things, but to really have the energetic information. And our bodies are this giant antenna for all kinds of energetic informations and awarenesses. And when we get this antenna clear, when we can receive the information clearly, it's incredible the ease it creates. So how can we attune this antenna that our body is to the universe? How can we start to get the information clearly, not all kinds of judgments and all kinds of like entity awarenesses, but how can we know what our body really is showing us, so that we can use it, so that we have it to our advantage. One of the first things that we have available in access to discharge all the polarity that is pointing us towards judgment and not towards being in a question and asking question and listening to what we know, is access bars. Access bars is an amazing tool, and I was already talking about it at the beginning of this live. It's a session, and I think most of the people in this group know what access bars does and what it's about. It's 32 points on the head, and it discharges the polarity from our energetic system, from our body. And so I started, my first session was 12 years ago, and I started to facilitate the bars classes pretty soon after that, maybe a year after that. And actually, since that I learned it, since that I learned how to run bars, there was probably not many weeks in between back then and now that I didn't have my bars run. I still use it. I still love it. I still ask my son now, and I have had many different people that I was exchanging bars with, or that I was that were running my bars, and now it's still my son, and I am so happy that he still does it, that he still likes to do it for money. And when I facilitate classes, I get my bars run sometimes daily. It creates so much ease. It creates space in our system to not to go into conclusion, and to be able to see possibilities and really be in the question. So we all know the situations when our head is too full. It would be amazing if it was full of ideas. When our head is too full, it's mostly full of other people's judgments and conclusions, and sometimes energy is directed at us, and sometimes there are problems that we are aware of. Sometimes they're energetic stuff that they come to us and we can deal with, or we have to deal with. Sometimes it's entity awareness, and bars clears our head for just clear awareness of what is. And so it's so much more so much easier to facilitate and to walk through life when we have that space, when we have that space beyond polarity of all kinds of things that we that are surrounding us actually daily and all the time. So that's access bars. And then the other thing that we have in access to contribute to our bodies are energetic processes of access consciousness called body processes, which at the moment are around 60 different energies. And my body wasn't very energetic, and it wasn't very happy before I started to do access. partly because of all these years on macrobiotic regime, but partly also because of some stuff that happened with my body when I was just a kid. Energetically, it wasn't functioning properly. It wasn't functioning very well, and I talk about it in my classes. There was a car accident that I was in when 9 years, and since that time, the energy wasn't really flowing through my body and the meridians or the energetic channels of my body in the way normal bodies have it available. And the excess body processes, when I first learned them and when I started to practice them, totally restored the energetic flow through my body. And so my energy level actually, since I do excess, is much, much higher than when I was young adult, when I was growing up, actually. So that is kind of amazing. And sometimes I have long periods where I get really lazy and I don't feel like do a lot with my body. But just recently, like since August, I discovered that my body really, really, really loves to move, which is kind of new, and at the beginning was kind of shocking. As a small girl, I was always told that I was not handy with sports, and that I will hurt myself if I ride a bike, and I will hurt myself if I ski, and I will hurt myself if I this and that, and that I'm afraid of ball with the ball games, and that I shouldn't just I should just study. I shouldn't worry too much about movement and sports because that's not for me. And when I remember myself, I was always sitting somewhere in the tree. I was climbing tree. I was running around. I was so lively. So it wasn't true at all. If I had the same kind of guidance as I had with literature and culture and stuff like that, I would probably love sport, and I would probably be doing sport. I don't know, after the accident, maybe not as much, but so now I just turned 50 3 weeks ago, and I'm discovering that my body really loves movement, and that my body really enjoys moving every day, actually. And even with my schedule, I'm now talking to my body like, how much time do you do you want to have in between classes so that you really can move the way you want to move? Because sometimes with the classes of 3 days or 4 days, there is often not as much time to like go to gym, or there is no gym. So what else is possible? And it's so interesting how when we are connected to our bodies and when we listen, and we don't always listen. I didn't listen for a long time. My body was telling me for a long time that it would like to move. When I finally listened, there so much ease came, so much more, so much more joy opened again. So what if our bodies are this source of energy and possibilities and space and awareness and creation, that if we were willing to listen to them, our life would be the life of ease and joy and glory? And what kind of creation is actually available to us, that we are not always so keen on choosing, that if we would start to choose with our bodies and for our bodies more, would open up a life of pleasure, a life of joy, the life that we would actually be able to thrive in and not just survive. And everything that doesn't allow that to show up times a gazillion will destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all night shots, boys, poets, and beyonds. So 2 classes that I'm offering this week, and I don't facilitate a lot in the Netherlands. And I was talking with my husband because both of those classes will take place at home. So I was like, these are the last classes here this year. Don't worry, these are the last classes, and these really are the last classes in Alkmaar this year. On Wednesday evening from 7 o'clock, I'm offering, and actually for the Czech listeners, I will have this body process also in Prague. So this Wednesday, which is 8 November, I'm doing a body process that's called alternate sources of energy-induced possibilities of and with bodies. So we are going to have a look at the fact that our bodies are source of energy and are source of possibilities, and I'll learn a body process that facilitates that. And I will facilitate the same body process in Prague on 23rd of November as one of the two. In Prague, I'm doing the whole day. Here in Alkmaar on Wednesday, just this one body process from 7 till 10. And then on Saturday is bars training, which is 1 day class. So if you would like to repeat or if you would like to learn access bars, it's an excellent possibility. The group is not going to be giant, but there is a very nice group already. And I'm so much looking forward to facilitate access bars class in the Netherlands and in Dutch. I'm not going to be talking English in any of those classes. The Facebook Live I'm doing in English because a lot of people who are listening are Czech people who speak English. Yay! How does it get even better than that? And then from one last thing that I wanted to mention, from 19 till 21 November, I'm doing a 3-day body class in the Czech Republic. And the special thing about this 3-day body class for anybody who would maybe like to join from the Netherlands is that it's in the forest. It's in the, I wouldn't say high mountains, but it's like mountain region in the Czech Republic. And it's in the forest next to a beautiful lake, and it's we have free accommodation for those who join till the end of this week, like till Friday. So if you would like to be there, if you would like to take a 3-day body class, because maybe you want to take a advanced body class in February with Grace Douglas, and you would like to get the second 3-day body class abroad, but with the possibility of speaking Dutch as well, then it's 19, 20, and 21st of November. It's possible to participate there as well. And what else is possible? So I'm looking forward to these two classes that I'm going to facilitate Wednesday in the evening. It's always really nice to have this energy also at home, energy of bodies receiving. And then Saturday whole day access bars training, and this time it looks like there will be a lot of men. So if you never have been to access class with a lot of men, then this is the invitation. It's always fun to mention, and it's always fun to create it like that. At least for my body really likes that energy as well, humanoid man energy. So, and the last thing I wanna mention, because I'm already talking for 20 minutes, is I've been to Paris last weekend for the body whispering class. The class that this book, Dane's book, Body Whispering, is related to. And yeah, amazing conversations actually about all kinds of stuff that I was already talking about on this live, about how our bodies contribute to us and what kind of information they provide us with, not just about themselves, but about the situation in the world as well, and about really all kinds of awarenesses that we sometimes are really too slow to get. Our bodies do not function from judgment, so our bodies do not look through the filters of and projections and expectations and separations and rejections that we often do. Our bodies have this clear awareness of what's actually in front of us and what's actually going on. So the class was amazing. One of the things that Dane mentioned that I probably would not get half year ago was that movement is joy, which now was totally like, yeah, I know that. And for how many of you maybe it's not like that yet? What if you can allow that possibility? And what if movement doesn't mean like you have to work hard or you have to train? What if movement is just taking a walk along the sea or in the forest? And how grateful are our bodies for just a walk in the park? So body equals movement. Movement equals joy. That was one of the things that I got, and that I actually remember. I will have to re-listen to the recordings, because 3 days of class with Dane is so full of energetic change that the like information doesn't really stick as much in our brains. It just goes through, and the important thing is the change in energy and the opening up of new possibilities. And then the other thing is, he was talking about how this reality functions in a certain way, and the longer we do access, so the longer we use bars, the longer we receive the body processes, and the longer we use clearings and all kinds of tools, the more we create our own alternate reality that's like not fighting the reality that already exists here, but that is not bound by the same rules, that has totally new possibilities and choices available that we can actually function from and create from. And it was very inspiring conversation, and something that I'm aware of for a very very long time already. And it was great great to see the way he put it, Dane put it. And so part of this alternate reality, for sure, we can start to access with this body process, alternate sources of energy, induced possibilities, open with bodies, that we are going to learn on Wednesday. Which, by the way, if you took a 3-day body class a while ago, this body process is quite new. I think it's in the 3-day body class since January this year. So if you didn't have any body process classes or 3-day body class lately, then it's probably a new energy that your body might enjoy very much. So ask your body whether it would like to be here. I will put the links to both of those classes under this video, and there are still spots. So if it's a contribution for you or your body, I will love to welcome you in Alkmaar this week still, or next week, the week that starts tomorrow, for one of those classes. Have a great evening, Sunday evening, everybody. And what else is possible? Bye-bye.